Hey, I'm Carlos Garcia, and today we're getting into my top 5 finished ryes of 2025. Now, we're actually going to go over 6 different bottles, but whatever. I couldn't narrow it down to 5, and I was kind of debating on one to put it into the regular rye video, which I need to do a little bit more research and data collecting this weekend while it's freezing up in Connecticut this weekend to try to really figure out my top 10 ryes for probably next Friday's video. But I threw one in here where some people might, it's a whole debate thing about, is this really finished or not? It says finished right on it, but it's basically a double oaked. It's not finished like in a wine cask or anything like that, but I did throw it into this lineup. So this is the Hard Truth double oaked, rye finished in new charred oak barrels. So that is one bottle that's in here. We have 2 different honeys. So this is the Blue Note Honey Rye Cask, 116.49 proof, and the Hard Truth was less than that, 106.9. The other honey barrel, this is a pick I was actually on. This is a Starlight Rye Honey Barrels, 114 proof. I've actually already compared these in a video earlier this year, and the Blue Note Honey Cask, in my opinion, is probably going to be the winner of this lineup because I love it so much, but we'll see. I haven't done this comparison of these bottles before, only these 2. We have the Sagamore Albarino Cask finish, which is a wine cask finish. It's 103 proof, and that was a distillery only from Sagamore. I was down there doing a pick with SLB for their Sagamore pick, and I picked it up there. We have the newest bottle to me, in this lineup anyways, the Walleye Run. This is a Cigar batch. It's a 7-year-old rye finished in a blend of Albarino, cognac, and cherry cask. And then the most expensive one up here, without even looking it up, just most likely, because it comes in a fancy box, is the Angel's Envy Cellar Collection straight rye whiskey finished in French oak Anejo tequila barrels. And that's 104.2 proof. So these are finished rye contenders for top 5 of the year 2025. So let's get into the blind. All right, as always, in a finished type blind, it could be all over the place. It's not really comparing apples to apples because there's so many different finishes, but we'll see what I'm liking today. So let's get into nose on A. All right, so A on the nose is like I was saying, it's not apples, oranges. Apples right away. Apples, orchard, light, woody, melon, sweet, earthy bubblegum. It is very complex, but it is like lighter fruits. Not a lot of rye notes, but a lot of light fruits. Go to B. Much darker right off the rip. All right, B on the nose, very different than A. Dark fruits, jammy, raisins, sweetness, that purple Jolly Rancher note, chestnuts, savory, very different. That's what I was saying. Not very apples to apples. Let's go see. All right, so C on the nose, definitely more rye forward than the first 2 and more intense in your face. I think it's because of that rye spice. Bubblegum, sweet, tropical fruit, definitely more rye forward. Let's go to D. Man, D is so medicinal forward. I don't know what that one is. It's medicinal cherry and grape, some oak, some sweetness, but that is opening up a medicine cabinet. That is crazy. All right, let's go E on the nose. Okay, E on the nose, very light overall. Sweet, light, honey, slight oak, slight dark fruit, very light nose, not intense. Go to F. All right, so F, more intense right away. Darker, richer, sweet, slight nuttiness, dark fruit. Kind of looking over the notes right now. I think B might be my favorite, but let's get into the palates. All right, first sip of the day. Rye spice right away. The rye really hit me in my face. Sweet, light, green Jolly Rancher, a little funkiness, vanilla. Overall, so it's weird because the front palate was kind of fighting each other. It wasn't that enjoyable, but once I got to like the mid palate to the back of the palate, it was pretty tasty. Light overall though, almost got a little watery. We got to the finish, vanilla, light, almonds. Again, it wasn't very long, but first sip of the day, so we'll see on the second sip. All right, that second sip was pretty damn enjoyable. I didn't get anything new on the palate. It's a lot of the same notes, a lot of that green Jolly Rancher and rye, and it tasted wonderfully. For the finish, it did linger a lot better this time. Sweet rye. This is a sweet rye that's balanced well with the sweetness, the rye. There's a little bit of funkiness there. Overall, it's light though. It's not intense in your face. So pretty good. One thing I think I'm going to notice today, which I've noticed over the year, is a lot of the finished ryes, you kind of lose the ryeness of it. And, you know, that's good for people that don't really like ryes. You get more of the bourbon level ryes. This one, I think you get not a crazy amount of rye, but you definitely know it's a rye, which if you don't like ryes, might not be your thing, but it is enjoyable. So third sip, interesting. This third sip was way more rye forward. I'll say that was kind of balanced. This one was way more rye. I thought it was just gonna be in the front. Like it just immediately hit me rye. It's like the piney spearminty rye right away, and it kind of just lingered throughout the whole sip on the third one. So that's gonna actually make it a little bit worse of a score for me, because I love the second sip, the balance of it. This one was too rye forward, and we're in the finished rye category, so you want something a little bit different than just drinking a rye. So I feel like the finish isn't showing whatever the finish is on A. So we'll go like a 3.6 for now. Just go from there. Okay, let's go to B. All right, so B is not gonna be for everyone, and I'm not 100% sure it's for me. So there's two things that people don't like that are in this, and I'm not sure that it complements each other that well. There's a good amount of cinnamon, like cinnamon toast crunch cereal. So I'm guessing that's an Albarino influence on this one, and I know one of these is Albarino. I'm not even gonna look at the bottles. And then there's a lot of funky dankness, earthiness on it, which is definitely a flavor profile that most people I don't think would like. So cinnamon, cinnamon toast crunch, funky, earthy, dark fruit, spice. On the finish, earthy, dirty clove, cinnamon. The lingering note is cinnamon. Thanks, Craig. Yeah, so we'll see on the second sip. All right, so the second sip, way better on the palate. The finishes remain the same. So the cinnamon is still very strong on the palate, but it lost a lot of that funkiness, earthiness part. It got more oak, sweet, rich. The palate was actually pretty freaking good, but the finish got back to that earthy, dirty cloves, funky note, and cinnamon. One more sip. Yeah, that finish. So I wrote cinnamon raisin bagel toasted with grape jelly. That's to like the palate with some earthy funkiness, but that finish gets too funky, dirty close for me. And unlike, you know, we just came off my top 25 bourbons of the year, which tons of fantastic bottles. This list is my like top 20 rides of the year, and I noticed that there was like 5, 6, 7 finished rides in there. So I was like, oh, let me just do that separately. So some of these might not have scored crazy high, because that funkiness is definitely killing this for me. It's not that enjoyable. The palate though, I do really like. So I'm gonna score this under the A for sure. Let's go with 3.4. It is unique and you like something crazy, but I feel like that's going to be enjoyed by less than 50% of whiskey enthusiasts. Not even just talking about whiskey drinkers, because it would be a far less lower number, but you know, us. If you're watching WhiskeyTube, you're a whiskey enthusiast. Okay, let's go to C. All right, C is kind of reminding me of A, so definitely something I would be comparing back and forth. B is definitely the outlier. Lingering cinnamon note. Okay, so on the palate, rye forward again. That's why I was saying it's like A. Red Jolly Rancher, sweet, light overall. Tropical fruit, baking spices. On the finish, a good, decent nuttiness. Oak, sweet, light, rye, and that cinnamon note that I was picking up just now. Very enjoyable. You know you're drinking a rye. Could identify the finish on this. Not at all. But it is a nice drinking rye for sure. Second sip. The palate, a little bit funkiness throughout. Not throughout, but like kind of like popped its head a couple times. Nothing off-putting really, just a little bit of like maybe that rye funkiness. And a decent amount of vanilla on the finish. Third sip. That's tasty. I do enjoy this. So I'm very curious on C versus A, because those seem very similar to me. Overall, rye forward, meaning you know it's a rye, and they're both to me lightly finished. So let's go to D. What is happening? All right, I forgot what video. It had to be a recent video where I said the throat spray as a note, which is chloroseptic, because I Googled it and put the picture up there for you guys so you guys knew what the heck I was talking about. This is that. And on the nose, we were talking about the medicinal notes. On the palate and on the finish, I'm getting a lot of medicinal notes, specifically that throat spray note, to the point like my throat felt like I just sprayed it on there. I don't know what is happening today. Let's try this again. So interesting. Okay, so I fought through the I'm gonna say throat spray. The throat spray notes on the finish and on the palate. And on the palate, got a little earthiness, crafty. It's a medicinal grape. There's some oak there. The palate isn't terrible. It's decent. There's enough of that throat spray note there. I don't know who's drinking whiskey for that note. It is unique for sure. I'll give it that. On the finish, that throat spray note, sweet, dankness, the vanilla. That is such an interesting pour. Again, this is one of those pours you pour for someone, and if they get that same reaction off the first sip and never drink it again, it's gonna taste like throat spray, at least in my opinion. But after the second sip, you kind of pick up some other notes. But man, most people are like, yeah, I don't want any more of that. There's it. Man, this is just crazy. There's good parts of it, and then there's just that throat spray note, which if you like that throat spray note, here's a whiskey for you. But there is aspects of it that I really enjoy. So it's not like it's terrible. And the more you sipped on it, the less throat spray note came out. It's still definitely in the bottom with B, but for different reasons. Like this is just a medicinal bomb, and this is just too much of that funky, dirty clothes note on the finish. This is one heck of a lineup that I put together today. Go to E. All right, first sip on E. Definitely, I think I need another sip for sure. It's not overly complex. It is a honey bomb. And now there's 2 honey finishes in this lineup, so at least one of these should taste like honey, I would think. But it's that rich, nice honey, not that crappy honey. About to not shit on some labels or anything like that, but it is a nice, dark, rich honey. Obviously sweet, oak, a little bit of dankness on the palate. On a finish, that rich honey again, sweet oak. I'll try to see if I can pick up more notes besides the honey, but this is, so where some of these, I think it was like A and C, I talked about them a lot, where it's a rye forward, and I couldn't really figure out what they were finished in because they're both light. This one is, you don't get too much rye, you get more of the honey finish. I'm assuming that this is a honey finish. You know, I have a 1 out of 3 chance because there's 2 of them. This is very honey forward, but not overly honey. I know that's that fine line, right? It's not overly finished, but you definitely know what is finished in. Second sip, man, I love that finish. So I got some rye spice on the palate, so the rye is starting to shine a little more, but again, very honey forward. On the finish, some nuttiness started showing, peanut butter, and I wrote rye bread. So if you take some rye bread, some peanut butter, and some honey, that's the finish. I really enjoy that finish. With that peanut butter sweetness, with that rich honey, I'm like, is that a thing? Has anyone ever put honey and peanut butter together? I'm like, I'm sure it's something that I'm not aware of, but I don't think I've ever put that together. But can it be good? I'm sure it will be. I really enjoy that. So it's not complex. That definitely faults it, but the flavors there are all very, very good. It's definitely on the sweeter end, and I feel like it's much darker overall than C and A, because that honey is like a richer honey. Is that my favorite? It might be. We'll see. Let's go to F. F is tricky for me because I didn't write actual notes per se. There's a couple notes for sure, but it was almost like general terms. But F is fantastic. I'm gonna throw that out right now. F fantastic. Did not mean to do that on purpose. It just happened. Super intense. Probably the 100% the most intense one up here. Dark fruit, sweet, richer, flavorful. I'm giving you notes. Nope. It's just overall a rich, flavorful experience. The one note besides dark fruit is Purple Jolly Rancher, which is a sweetness of dark fruit. On the finish, oak, intense, slight nuttiness, sweet. It is fantastic. I'm not getting a lot of rye, and I don't know what this is finished in. It's just delicious. That's what F is. Hopefully, I can do a better job for you guys on the second sip. I mean, that's the best thing I've had today. That is, I don't know how much A-Bing I have to do against this one. This one's standing out significantly better. I'm not getting a lot of notes on it. I wrote chocolate on the finish. I should throw it out there real quick. It's just so tasty. It's hard to explain, which is my job. I'm failing you. I apologize. Whatever F is, go buy that bottle. Hopefully it's a cheaper bottle. I don't know, but let me just kind of go over the notes real quick because I'm not sure what's even happening. But F is very intense, flavorful. It's that dark fruit, raisins, plums, like the darker fruit profile, but sweet, like the Purple Jolly Rancher. There's some oak there. It's rich. I'm gonna guess a lot of people are gonna like this bottle. On the finish, I wrote some chocolate, marshmallow, savory notes, with that nuttiness, oak. It's intense. That is a fantastic fantastic rye. Now, I'm not getting a lot of rye notes out of it. As it's lingering right now, and I'm thinking about it, I can definitely pick up on some rye notes, but it's not in your face. But I absolutely love F, whatever F is. I'll step away, drink some water, A/B these, and come back with some scores. Yeah, I stepped away a little bit. I got my water over here. You know, I used to cut all this stuff out, but what I realized in the top 25 tournament was you guys actually liked seeing the A/Bing, and if you don't, you can always just fast forward this anyways. So I'm just gonna kind of leave these in. The videos will be a little bit longer, but you know, you can see the whole process, and if you want to see the whole process, you know, here you go. So the two bottom ones were obviously D and B. So let's go to those. So go to D first, I guess. You go backwards. It's not as throat spray this time. You get some chocolate on the finish. There is some like, I don't know. This is just not my favorite. There's some dankness there too with that throat spray note. Let's go to B. I mean, I like B over D. The cinnamon notes, which I know we're all fed up with the whole Amberana craze, and I think they've kind of gone away from it. Now the whiskey people, you know, Rio did it really well, and then everyone tried to copy that. There is a significant amount of cinnamon in there. That finish still has that dankness, but overall it's a better experience than D. And I feel like this is more of a conversational piece where you have with, you know, your whiskey people and be like, you know, what do you think about this? And I can see people being all over the place on what B is, but I do like it more than D. So let's go to, so I'll do C then A, because I talked about those two like a lot. So I'm just going to take these two out just so they're not in my way and go, because I'm going to be A-Bing these, I feel like, a lot. So I really do enjoy that. Again, very rye forward versus these other ones. That's why I think C and A are kind of like together. Sweet, light, score that a little higher. Let's go to A. Interesting. So going from C to A is more richer. I'm going to A/B them a little bit. So let's go to C real quick. So I went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth a bunch. A narrowly beat out C. I just like the little richerness. It's more rich than C. Both very, very good. I do enjoy both of these a lot. All right, so then we go E and F. So E, let's do, well, now I have actually A above E. So let's check out E real quick. Okay, so going back and forth there. Now, if you want a honey finish rye, E is what you want. E is such a good honey finish rye. It's very honey forward. Oh, you know what I need to do? I need to compare that to C. So I do have A above E just because of complexity, but now it's in the same realm as C. Yeah, I'm going to put C above E as well. So E dropped a couple notches. Actually, it kept the same score. I just raised up A and C higher. Now let's just make sure F is still phenomenal. I think it's the best, but A in second place. So let me just compare it real quick. Very little bit of A left. F is significantly richer than A. So let's get the bottles up here and reveal the results. All right, so let's go over the results here and let's do the giveaway. Oh, talking about giveaways. Carlos Garcia, one of you beautiful, beautiful viewers out there, created a whole website for me to do the giveaways. And I messed around with it yesterday because Kenna heard about how I was spending so many hours copying and pasting names into the wheel. Kenna just created a thing for me. So all I gotta do is put in the link to the video, the keyword, and it literally populates all of the names. Now I can copy and paste that right into the wheel, but Kenna actually created a thing I could just click on giveaway winner and just does a random giveaway winner right on the thing. So let me tell you, Kenna, you are amazing. You are saving so much time, and we talked back and forth. I'm sending Kenna some samples, but man, Carlos Garcia, I appreciate you so much. And I know we have the same last name. We're not related. I don't know who Kenna is at all. I really appreciate you saving me so much time. Love that. So you'll see that. But with that, I've been very lenient on, like, you know, if I say, you know, whatever, and then some people put things that are close to what I'm saying. So you got to get it right. You have to make sure you put in what I'm telling you, and it's on the screen for the giveaways, because the algorithm is going to only pop up your names for that. So you know, 99% of you guys are doing it right, but there are like 1-2s like every video that are like a little bit off, and I just, you know, I'm doing manually, so I just put you in anyways. But just let you know, it has to be how I say, because that's what I'm going to put in the little search thing. So if you want we'll do 2-ounce samples. Back to the 2-ounce samples. 2-ounce samples of all 6 of these finished ryes. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment with FRYE25. Make sure you do that. FRYE25. It's on the screen. Put it in the comments. You know, you guys always, usually when you guys win a sample, you guys email me and tell me what you thought about the lineup afterwards. So I appreciate that. I like to know what you guys think about when you guys win the samples. So let's get into it. In last place, what is last place? D? Is D last place? So D is the Hard True Double Oaked Rye. You know, I picked this up in Indiana, and oh yeah, the throat spray note, too much for me. You know, I know a lot of people love this bottle. To each their own. You do you. If you've had this bottle, please let me know if you're getting that throat spray note on it, or if I'm just a crazy person, because I would love to be comparing notes on this one, because that is very strong on this bottle for me. So then we go to B, which is the Cigar batch, Walleye run, the regular Walleye run. I think the single barrels, the barrel proofs, or whatever. It gets a lot of praise for being the best ryes. Man, that dankness on this was not that amazing for me, but that cinnamon note, which a lot of people don't like either, kind of made it a flow. It, you know, it's very divisive even in my own head. So it came in 5th place with a 3.5. So outside of those 2, the other 4 were phenomenal. Just varying degrees of what you're looking for. So let's go into 4th place. In 4th place is E, which this is actually the pick I went on. It's probably the cheapest bottle up here. Honey finish, which is funny because now I'm looking at what was up here. I didn't get any honey off of it. Now this is amazing, and we'll get to that. But if you want a honey finish rye, look for maybe a Starlight honey finish. Now obviously this is a pick that happened in Connecticut, so if you're anywhere outside of Connecticut you probably can't pick this up. But if you see a Starlight honey finish rye, when I went there to do the pick, the barrels that they got in were from honey people. Beekeepers, honey makers, whatever, but the barrel itself was from honey people, and they put rye into it, and they were the smaller barrels. That was my favorite thing we had at Starlight, and we had a crap load of whiskey at Starlight, was this barrel. We convinced the owner to buy this barrel because he went there for a bourbon finished in maple barrels, which is another bottle that was phenomenal. But this was the favorite thing we had there, and it's so good, but it is very honey forward. Just letting you know, if you can find a honey finished rye Starlight barrel, that's delicious. So then we go to 3rd place. So C came in 3rd place. This is the Sagamore Albarino Cask, which is a white wine finish. Very good. I'm very happy I got it. I forget how much it was, like 80-ish bucks or whatever it was. Then 2nd place was the super expensive bottle. And again, I'm just assuming it is because it came in a fancy box. And I scored that at 3.8. But the big winner today, which is if it's not the cheapest, it's right up there with the cheapest. I think these are right down on the cheapest bottles. You know, this is like, I just bought this recently, $89, I believe. This wasn't too expensive. This wasn't too expensive. This definitely was a more expensive one. But the Blue Note Honey Rye Cask, this is freaking delicious. And I scored that a 4. It significantly won this. Like, it's significantly better than the rest of these, in my opinion. If you had this Blue Note Rye, I had a bottle of this last year's release, 2024, I guess. Killed that whole bottle quickly. It was so good. This year's release, 2025, I know we're like midway through February when you guys are watching this. But 2025, this bottle came, I think it sold out online really, really quick. So good. If you can find one, this bottle is delicious. It is so freaking good. And when they release the 2026 one, I will 100% try to buy it. Man, I gotta reach out to them just like, hey, I make videos on YouTube. You should send me some stuff because I love your stuff. But their on-cut, on-filter series, like the store picks, man, for like 55, 65 bucks in that range. Phenomenal bourbon. Their ryes are delicious. So I'm a big fan of Blue Note. I don't know them. I've never been to the distillery, but it is a distillery that I really enjoy. This is my favorite finished rye of 2025. Now, the next couple of videos for you guys is going to be some other top lists, you know, finished bourbons, which the Blue Note one will definitely be on there. I haven't recorded them or anything. I'm just off the top of my head. Over this weekend, so I'm recording this Friday night. If you're at this point in the video, you're one of the OGs because you guys hang out at the end. I'm recording this probably, I don't know, 8 o'clock on a Friday night. I'm gonna drink the rest of these pours, edit this video, and post this video whenever I get it done. What I was trying to say is over this weekend, because I'm not going anywhere, because it's gonna snow tomorrow. We got negative 33-degree weather this coming up weekend, which is insane. Like, I live in Connecticut, I don't live in the Arctic. Stupid. I'm gonna record a couple of videos this weekend for the next week, and what I'm also gonna do is go over the ryes. I have like about 15 ryes over here. They're literally right here. I'm looking at them. Fine tune my top 10 and then blind like me the top 6 or whatever to really fine tune it for you guys. That's what's gonna come up over this week. I'm still organizing my shelves. Like, the lights are getting better. I fixed the lights. Let me tell you, my life is getting complete over here. Don't do nothing stupid. And if you do, don't get caught. I love you guys. Bye.